Okay, good afternoon, and welcome to everybody that has joined the webinar. Purpose of this webinar is to provide industry with an introduction to the upcoming request for qualifications for the H Street Bridge Northeast Replacement Project. We'd like to be aware of everybody's time, and so we will start promptly. It's just past 1 o'clock. I'll begin with a few housekeeping notes regarding today's webinar. First, the webinar is being recorded. The recording and today's presentation slides will be made available on the project website at hstreetbridgeproject.com. And secondly, webinar participants will remain muted throughout the call, and the chat function will be disabled. Any questions should be directed to OCP via the project email address at hstreetbridgeprocurement@dc.gov. That's all one word, H Street Bridge Procurement. The email address and the project website will be provided again at the end of today's presentation. Today's speakers will be Everett Lott, Acting Director, DDOT, Alan Jones, Chief Project Delivery Officer, DDOT, Ali Shakiri, who is the Program Manager for H Street Bridge with DDOT, William Sharp, Chief Contracting Officer, the Office of Contracts and Procurement, OCP, and Nana Bailey Thomas, Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer with DDOT. Now, to begin the webinar, I'd like to introduce Everett Lott, who will be providing today's welcome message.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Everett Lott, and I am the Acting Director with the District's Department of Transportation, and it is truly a pleasure, my pleasure, to welcome you to the H Street Bridge Replacement Project RFQ Industry Day. Here at DDOT, we are extremely excited about the progress that we've made in advancing this important project to a point where we can talk to all of you about releasing an RFQ for your consideration that will ultimately result in the award of a design build contract. I am joined here today by several members of my staff and our Office of Contracting and Procurement Partners that I know you will want to become better acquainted with. So you'll hear from Ellen Jones, our Chief of Project Delivery, Ali Shakiri, our Program Manager, Bill Sharp, who's our Chief Contracting Officer, and Nana Bailey Thomas, who's our Chief of Equity and Inclusion. This team will walk you through the project's technical and procurement details in a few minutes. But before we go there, I'd like to give you my perspective as to the importance of this project and your potential role in it by talking about 3 keys to our strategy for bridge infrastructure in general and the H Street Bridge replacement in particular. A key component of the bridge inventory revitalization, let me just kind of start there. I'm sure this group recognizes that the #1 objective of this project is to reconstruct the H Street Bridge. But do you know why? It is currently one of 4 DDOT-owned bridges with an overall poor or structurally deficient condition rating. So by definition, this project is a key component of our plan for a bridge inventory revitalization. As you would expect, any bridge with such a condition rating gets a high level of attention at DDOT. Replacing or rehabilitating poor condition rated bridges is the bedrock foundation of our bridge inventory revitalization strategy. And this project is a must-do and will be successful, period. While no number of poor condition rated bridges is acceptable, DDOT has made tremendous progress over the last decade in reducing the number of these bridges. But there's more to the story. The district bridges have an average of about 58 years, which is considerably older than the national average of about 43 years. And with such an old bridge inventory, it should come as no surprise that over half of the district's bridges have at least one major component rated in a failed condition. The forecasted rate at which these fair condition rated bridges deteriorate to poor condition within the next 10 to 15 years indicates a significant number of bridge rehabilitation or replacement projects on the horizon. So therefore, building on our progress in fixing the poor condition rated bridges, DDOT must also make the right choices as to how to invest our finite bridge rehabilitation and reconstruction resources, as well as our preventative maintenance dollars to target the right bridges in our aging inventory to deliver both public safety and a return on investment for the district taxpayer. So we look forward to working with you, our industry partners, to make this happen now and as we go forward into the future. Now, fixing aging bridge infrastructure is really important, no doubt about it. But bridge projects are about more than just fixing the relics of the past. They're also enabling a promising future. And as such, DDOT recognizes the importance of bridge projects as an enabler of economic development at every level, and we will continue to invest accordingly as we revitalize the district's bridge infrastructure. So the H Street Bridge, Northeast Bridge Replacement Project is absolutely no exception. The project is a key enabler of development in the area immediately adjacent to Union Station. The Union Station Redevelopment Corporation, also referred to as USRC, the Federal Railroad Administration, and Amtrak are planning a major expansion of Union Station and a complete reconstruction of the rail yard, which includes the area below the H Street Bridge. Ackridge, a private developer, has acquired the air rights over the rail yard, including north and south of the H Street Bridge. So they are planning a more than, I think, 3.2 million square foot mixed use development, including streets connecting to the H Street Bridge. Very exciting work. So none of this development is possible without a structurally sound H Street Bridge, and the stakeholders listed above know it. So you can expect that these same stakeholders, to hold DDOT and the industry team we select to assist us with this project, to hold us accountable to delivering the new H Street Bridge on time and to specification that meets everyone's needs. As you know, this isn't the first time that DDOT and our industry partners have teamed up on a major design build project. The H Street Northeast Bridge Replacement Project will stand on the shoulders of the Frederick Douglass Memorial Bridge Replacement Project, which we will open in September or October, within just a couple of months, which we're very excited about. The DDOT team will apply the lessons learned from this extremely successful application of design build bridge delivery to the H Street Bridge. So as I close, I want to say that we have a sound bridge revitalization strategy, willing and motivated stakeholders, as well as the experience to make the H Street Northeast Bridge Replacement Project and future bridge projects a success. So all we need is you. And despite the absolute critical role of my staff and the role that they play in these projects, they can't get the job done alone. We need our industry partners. So please give this RFQ a very close look. My staff and I, we all look forward to receiving your statement of qualifications, and we all wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much.
You're muted. Sorry.
Thanks, Ali. Hi, I'm Ellen Jones. I'm Chief Project Delivery Officer for the District Department of Transportation. And as such, I have the Infrastructure Project Management Division, IPMD, in my portfolio. And I would just like to add to Everett's comments that in creating a partnership for this very important bridge, we have what I believe to be one of the top, if not top, construction divisions in the country today. With adding to the talent that Ali Securi brings to this project and his years of experience in successful project completion, we have behind him a full complement of professionals who are standing by to lend their talents to the success of this project. For those of you who notice headlines, you may have seen yesterday the headline that we are, in fact, seeing the largest federal investment of transportation dollars in almost 100 years in this country. Everett talked about how transformative the H Street Bridge project will be for the district. And I think that makes this period of time for all of us that are engaged in transportation work to be very proud of the opportunity to be part of history. So thank you for your interest and look forward to working with you.
Okay, thank you, Ellen. So our really agenda today is to provide the project objective, provide some background of the project, talk a little bit about the future adjacent projects, and describe some the preliminary design that we have done that is going to be part of the RFQ. And then Mr. Sharp is going to talk about the procurement process, and Nana, she's going to be talking about the DBE participation. With that, I'm just going to continue talk about the project objective. Of course, as you heard from our director and from Ellen Jones, that one of the biggest reason that we are doing this project because the bridge needs to be reconstructed because of its condition. The bridge deck is almost shot, and the superstructure has pin and hanger that is questionable and needs to be taken care of. And at the same time, the substructure is in poor condition and needs to be addressed. So the first objective is to replace the bridge. But during the construction, we want to minimize the impact on the transit, on the vehicle, on pedestrian, bicycle, rail operation above the bridge, which is a streetcar, and under the bridge, which is Amtrak rail yards, and provide access to the parking garage and loading dock. I'm going to describe that a little bit later. Those are major accesses to two important, to the buildings that are adjacent to the bridge. At the same time, we want to accommodate expansion of the streetcar in the future, accommodate expansion of the Union Station. I'm going to describe that a little bit in details. And you heard from the director that Anchorage has bought the air rights over the yard, and they have a huge project to build 3.2 million square foot of office and condo. So next, let me give you a little bit background. Again, for most of you, you know where the H Street Bridge is. What you're looking at is an aerial photo of the bridge. From the right to left, the right is the bridge spans over the First Street, then it spans on the WMATA, then spans over Amtrak rail yard, and spans over 2nd Street. And as you can see, the bridge is north of Union Station. I just want to bring to your attention, when we were talking about maintaining connection to the existing facilities, as you can see, on the right-hand side, the Union Station garage has 2 ramps that connects to the bridge, and on the left-hand side, near that green building, there is a ramp that connects the bridge to the Kaiser Permanente building and provides access for Amtrak, to provide service to Amtrak yard. Next, please. This kind of plan of the bridge, it shows you the limit of the project. From left is North Capitol, and then the bridge, the HS Street starts, and there is an approach span that spans over the First Street and WMATA, and then the bridge, and then on the right-hand side is the 2nd Street, and then it ends at 3rd Street. The limit of project is from North Capitol all the way to 3rd Street. As you can see, the right-of-way changes from the approach to the middle of the bridge, and the new bridge is going to have the same right-of-way. It's going to have the same footprint as the existing bridge. One more thing that you see, I'm sorry, can you go back quickly? Okay. At the bottom of the slide, we have the profile of the existing bridge. The existing bridge is 13 span, and from left to right, from North Capitol, there is a 7% grade that takes the bridge to the top of the bridge, And from that, there is about 5.7% grade that takes it back to the 3rd Street. Again, the profile of the bridge is going to stay the same. So as far as the right-of-way and plan of the bridge, the new bridge is going to be the same as the existing, and the profile is going to be the same, except I'm going to describe a little bit more. The span arrangement is going to be changed. Next. So give you a little bit of history. H Street used to be there in 1900, and by the Act of Congress in 1907, the air rights of H Street was provided to the rail, or at that time to rail operation. And what the, I'll call it Amtrak, what they did, actually they built a multiple number of railroad bridges to span over the old H Street. So what we call today, as they refer to it as tunnel, actually that was the H Street underpass that it was like that from 1907 until middle of 1970s. And H Street used to go under all the Amtrak tracks, similar to KL, Florida. I'm sure those people are familiar with those locations. Actually, the Amtrak tracks was on the top of the H Street. In the middle of 70s, they were going to build the garage that you see, the Union Station garage, and they needed access to the garage. And there was some additional plan that didn't get implemented, but the garage was built, and there was an agreement between the district and the Amtrak that the old H Street is going to be abandoned, and the new bridge is going to be built over all the tracks. So DDOT still owns the old H Street underpass. That's you know, the DDOT property, the city property, and then the only thing is that they added a couple of doors to the end of the H Street at 2nd and 1st and 2nd Street, and then kind of everybody now calls it the tunnel, but actually that's H Street underpass. And in 2016, we completed the streetcar tracks on the top of the bridge, and we established a station at the top of the bridge. So the streetcar was operating on the top of the bridge. Next. Okay, so this is a plan of the existing bridge. On the top, you can see the 13 span that I was talking about. And what you're going to be noticing is that the blue lines on the plan, those indicates the location of the Amtrak platforms, and then the location of our piers. I'm sorry, the location of the tracks, and then location of our piers that is as exists today. And on the bottom, you're going to see the profile of the bridge. So again, as I told you, we're going to keep in the right-of-way, and we're going to be building the new bridge exactly the same right-of-way. And as you can see on the plan, there are connections from the bridge to the garage, and on the right-hand side, you see a connection to the Kaiser Permanente and Amtrak loading dock. Next. And these are a couple of pictures from the top of the bridge. The one on the left, you are looking west, and you can see the streetcar on the top of the bridge. On the right-hand side, you see looking east, and you see the tracks, streetcar tracks that comes and connects to the top of the bridge, to the station at the top of the bridge. Okay, who are the stakeholders for these projects? Of course, first of all, Federal Highway. This is a federally funded project, even though they have a small portion of the cost, but they are participating in this. Amtrak is biggest stakeholder, again, because The bridge footprint is going to be on Amtrak, on the top of Amtrak yard. The Union Station, which controls the Union Station Amtrak station, they own the building, they manage it, they are a big partner. Federal Highway, they control, of course, the Amtrak operation and Amtrak expansion. The DC streetcar, WMATA, because they have, again, tracks under our bridge. Acreage, because they have development north and south of our bridge. And then all adjacent property. There is about 8 buildings north and south of the limit of our projects that they are partners, and then, of course, the community. Next. Future adjacent project. I guess, as you heard from our director, there is a big plan for this area. So I'm just going to quickly describe who owns what and who has what plan. So in this one, let's start with the blue. Blue is the WMATA, you can see on the top of the pictures. Then the gold one is the USRC. That is the buildings that is under USRC control. The little green at the which is the Columbus Plaza, that's mainly owned by NPS, but we don't have any effect on it. Of course, the purple is our bridge. Then you see the red, just red color, not a hatch one. The red color is all Amtrak property. But this is what Amtrak owns. And then you see the hatch area. The hatch area is the air rights between the Union Station and south of the bridge, and between north of the bridge and K Street, that I think in 2004, if I'm not mistaken, the Congress forced Amtrak to raise fund, and what Amtrak did, they sold the air rights to Acreage, and then Acreage has a plan to develop the area, the air rights over the north and south of the H Street. And when they do that, actually, they're going to create 3 new streets. I'll call it East Street, West Street, and Middle Street. And those 3 new streets are going to be new intersection with a new bridge. So because of that, we have been coordinating with all these other partners and stakeholders before we do preliminary design, and hope we have to continue doing that before we do the final design and construction. Next. So this is just a typical cross section of what is going to come in the future. Actually, the bridge is shown, the existing bridge is not the proposed bridge. As you can see, the bridge is in the middle, and the north and south, or left and right of the bridge above the air rights, that's going to be the acreage that they're going to be building their buildings and the new street that intersects with the bridge. A level below that, which is the existing yard, and that's going to be the yard that Amtrak is going to be reconstructing completely. And then below that, which is the existing H Street underpass, as you can see, there are escalator and elevator going up and down, left and right in that cross section. So this H Street underpass that today is a tunnel is going to become a concourse, and is going to become, they plan to have shops and restaurants and all that in that level, and the passengers, they can go north and south of the bridge. And then there's going to be 2 levels below that, and one level is going to be for parking, the other one is going to be for buses and taxis. One thing I want to bring it to your attention, that one of our challenges is going to be the new bridge should have such a deep foundation, because when we start building the new bridge, from those bottom of the escalator below is all dirt. And we have to have our new foundation to go down 150, 200 feet down, because in the future, when Amtrak and Union Station expansion project comes, they're going to be excavating about another 30 feet around the are foundation, and those are going to be independently standing columns that goes through all that building. So these are the major challenges that is going to be discussed with the design build team in details. Next. Okay, the preliminary design. The criteria that we are used for designing the bridge, of course, is DDOT standards. As I mentioned it before, we're going to be replacing the bridge within existing right-of-way, maintain independent utilities, allow for streetcar station to be reconstructed on top of the bridge and actually extended to the other end of the bridge, maintain traffic across the bridge all the time during the construction. We're going to have one lane of traffic going east and west throughout the whole construction. And I'm going to show you the ideas that we have for doing that. Of course, the design build team, they might improve that or they might adopt it. Amtrak, the design criteria that they have, we have to maintain the existing vertical clearances. Some of the existing vertical clearances does not meet Amtrak design criteria, but those are grandfathered in and Amtrak accepting those. And then at the same time, we have to provide the horizontal clearances per Amtrak criteria. At the same time, again, the challenge is that the existing bridge has to be constructed with the existing platform, and then the new bridge has to be designed such a way that it can fall at a certain location between 1/3 of middle of the future platform. I just want to kind of quickly mention here, one of the reasons that Amtrak is doing their project, first of all, use your imagination. Anything you see at the Amtrak yard today, everything is going to be demolished. Everything is going to be turned up. And then they're going to take all their tracks and realign them. The reason is that the existing today's platforms are narrow and short. And Amtrak, by realigning their track, actually they're going to be reducing the number of tracks to 20. But at this time, they're going to be widening all their platform to 30 feet. By doing that and making them longer, by doing that, they can operate 2 trains at every platform at the same time, something that they cannot do today. And the second thing, by increasing the length of the platform, they can provide access from the train to the platform, because today's train, the platforms are only like 900, it's about 1,200 feet, and they need to be about 1,500 feet. Otherwise, the train that comes from New York, people have to walk inside the train in order to be able to get off the train. By doing that, Amtrak is going to increase their capacity by 100%. And this is their plan for 2050. Anyway, the next thing is talking about Union Station expansion project that I just talked to you. This is something that is between Amtrak and the USRC. And at the end of it, Acreage is going to be building kind of a city block north and south of, actually it's going to be 3 city blocks, north and south of the bridge, when the platform is provided by Amtrak to them for their building, and they need to have access to the bridge, so we need to accommodate that. And then we need to design the bridge such a way that provide utilities to future expansion. Okay, now the preliminary layout that we have done, as you can see from the plan, actually we reduced the number of span from 13 to 9 by relocating the location of the piers. And then second thing is the blue hatch line shows the existing platform. And I don't know if it's hard to see here, but maybe you guys can, when you get a copy of this presentation, you can zoom into it and see it. That you can see on the blue line, we have existing piers. The orange line is the future platform, And then the dark dots on that shows the location of our future piers. And as you can see from the profile below, we are going to maintain the same profile as the existing bridge. Next. So this is what, again, we have done throughout 30% design. We are proposing to have 2 hammerhead to support the bridge. And then the reason for 2 is that we need to go ahead and demolish half of the bridge, build half of the bridge, then demolish the other half and build the other half. So kind of we are going to be building 2 new bridges side by side, each equal to the half of the existing bridge. One thing I want to bring it to your attention is that this cross section in a light orange shows the existing bridge and shows the Amtrak bridges, which they are under the existing bridge, and actually the area between that is the tunnel or underpass that of H Street underpass. Next, we have a short video shows that our idea about how this bridge can be reconstructed.
The H Street Bridge, NE, also called the Hopscotch Bridge, is 2 blocks north of Washington Union Station. The bridge is a critical link for the neighborhood and local business district. It also serves the transportation hub at Union Station. The bridge connects North Capitol Street to 3rd Street. It spans over 1st Street, the Metro Red Line, the Union Station rail yard, and 2nd Street. Replacement of the bridge is needed to address the deteriorating deck and supports. Below the bridge and under the rail yard is the abandoned underpass of the former H Street. Vehicles use the underpass to cross under the rail yard before the bridge was constructed in the early 1970s. Foundations for the new bridge will be constructed from inside the underpass, and the contractor will use this space to store materials. Temporary support structures will then be constructed in the rail yard from within the platforms. The first visible signs of construction will be the change in streetcar service. It will terminate at 3rd Street, and the station on top of the bridge will close. In addition, the bus stops on the bridge will close. Next, vehicles will be restricted to a single lane in each direction on the northern half of the bridge. Access to the bus station and parking garage will be maintained during construction. The bridge will be demolished using cranes and trucks operating on the bridge. When this occurs, trains will maintain their normal operations in and out of Union Station. Bridge support columns will be removed using cranes and trucks operating from the bridge. Old and unused foundations will be removed from within the underpass. New columns will be constructed at specific locations to support the new bridge and not interfere with rail operations. Then, the bridge deck construction will begin in the reverse order to demolition. Once the southern half of the bridge deck is constructed, access in and out of the bus station will be moved to the eastern ramp. At the same time, public parking access will be rerouted to the front of Union Station from Columbus Circle. Demolition and reconstruction of the western end of the bridge over the Metro Red Line and 1st Street and the eastern end of the bridge over 2nd Street can now begin. Once the southern half of the bridge is complete, traffic will be moved to a single lane in each direction on the new bridge. Demolition and construction will begin on the northern half of the bridge. Railings, sidewalk, and pavement markings will be placed in their final location. Traffic will be restored to all lanes in both directions. New streetcar track and platform will be constructed along the center of the bridge, and streetcar service restored to the Union Station stop. With construction completed, the new bridge will continue to serve residents and commuters to and around Union Station for years to come.
So, yeah, so this was a concept of how the bridge can be built. Let me see. Okay, so sorry. The pack, in order to get our RFQ package ready, we have completed the 30% design, and the environmental, the EA is almost in the final stage of being approved by Federal Highway, and it should be completed in the next 2-3 months. 100%, everything is done. We had more than 120 meetings, coordinations with everybody from all the utilities, the stakeholders, Amtrak, USRC, Acreage, FRA. Anyway, I don't want to go through the list. So all that is completed. And then we have completed the phase 1 of hazmats, and we haven't found anything yet. And the phase 2 is in progress. And we're going to include the result of that to the as part of RFQ after the results are available. The technical challenges is that as far as the existing utilities, there are a lot of communication utilities in the past since '76 that they have used the underpass or the tunnel for connecting their facilities, and there are some Pepco and other utilities that they have facilities there. So we have been coordinating with all of them, started more than a couple of years ago, and we identified all the utilities that needs to be relocated. They're in conflict with the future bridge foundation or temporary foundation for the bridge. And actually, almost all the utilities are identified, and they actually, as of today, they are start relocating. So Pepco is almost finished with their relocation. The communication companies, there's more than 20 communication companies, and they have all over utilities there. And throughout the coordination with us, what we decided to do together as a team, that there's one of the communication companies, they are, instead of every communication company comes and relocate their own stuff, one of them took the lead, and they are creating a multi conduit there for all the utilities, and everybody is going to move into that trench and into that conduits. So that way the construction is much easier, and is less conflict of multi-contractor working for different communication companies. Amtrak utility coordination, Amtrak has some facilities there, is underway. USRC has the pump station. The relocation of that is underway. And the design of the bridge requires new utilities for Pepco, for example, to cross from east to west, and the DC water to provide services for the future of development acreage. Those have been coordinated, and the utility companies and the private developers, they are working together to provide their design, and whatever it needs to be incorporated into the bridge construction, they're going to pay for their share, and we're going to incorporate it in our construction of our new bridge. Amtrak coordination, we have been working with Amtrak at least the last 4 or 5 years, or more than that. The design, we had to sign a design agreement, review agreement, that has been signed and is in place. We almost we are close to finalizing the construction agreement with Amtrak, and then we are doing a construction agreement with Pepco, which is going through final stages of review to be signed. Again, Amtrak construction agreement is going to be signed by DDOT, but the contractor is going to be providing all the insurance, and it's going to be actual the signing the contract with Amtrak to provide all the insurance requirement that Amtrak has. So the select, yeah, I just said that. No, next, please. Sorry. Next, oh, Chris. Oh. Chris, can we go to the next slide, please? Sorry, one. Okay, the technical challenges for the project, of course, is streetcar coordination. As I told you, we have the streetcar was designed and built such a way that we predicted that it needs maybe not stop the service when the bridge is under construction. So I put a turnaround when we designed the streetcar at 3rd Street. So they're going to be using that turnaround so continue the operation between H and Benning. And what happened is that we're going to be demolishing the bridge, so the streetcar station and the tracks and the OCS support and all that is going to be demolished. And then the new contractor has to rebuild those. And at the same time, the design build team is responsible to certify the pass it through DC State Safety Oversight Office before they can start operating the streetcar when we restore it to the top of the bridge as part of the bridge reconstruction. As far as the environmental, as I told you, there are some commitment has been made in the environmental, and the design build team is responsible to meeting those. And one of the most important thing that, as I told you, there are about 8 buildings next to the project that the noise and vibration is going to become an issue, and the design build team has to adopt the method and means to minimize the noise and vibration. Next. I'm done. Mr. Sharp is.
Okay, Ali, thank you very much. Wave to me if you can hear me okay. Okay, great. All right. First, I apologize if there's any background noise. There's some planes that fighter jets that are going overhead. If any of you have ever been lived near a Naval Air Station, you'll understand that they do practice carrier landings, and they just happen to schedule those while this is going on. So if the jets are going straight overhead, I'll just hit the mute button for a few seconds and let them pass. But what I want to say is we're ready. I'm really excited about this. With the draft RFQ, we've reviewed 120 comments from 16 contractors. We now have the environmental clearances, the funding. We've reviewed and revised the request for qualifications. We are ready. Plus, when the time comes for a source selection to select at least 3 proposers, we have the resources. And as the director noted, we have reviewed the lessons learned from South Cap. So we're good to go. If you have any questions, make sure you send them to the address at the end of this presentation. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the entire team before the jets go over. I can hear them coming. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started on the procurement piece. So the design build contractor will be selected through a 2-step process. The first being the request for qualifications, which we intend to release in the next within the next few days. The second step is the request for proposals. After we've down selected at least 3 of the most highly qualified respondents, then they'll receive the request for proposals to participate. And from that, a preferred proposer will be selected. So it's a pretty much standard design build process. The RFQ will be issued, like I said, within the next few days. The statement of qualification submissions are due 45 days after the release of the RFQ, and we anticipate completing the design build award process by the 4th quarter of 2022. and we anticipate completing construction by 2028. Next slide, please. So in the RFQ, the scored evaluation criteria, and again, these are relatively standard for this type of thing. The experience of the respondents team, the lead contractor and lead designer, organization and management experience. The second criterion will be experience of respondents' key personnel, and there are a number of those, and I don't need to read those to you. This will all be in the presentation. And the team structure, management approach, and your approach to risk, which is really critical to a project like this. Ali has outlined a number of important factors, and those will all go into this. Next slide, please. So other notable items is that we'll have an opportunity for respondents to visit the H Street underpass. I think that's really, really important. We have a process for that, and we'll detail the process. Respondents early on will be required to reconfirm that no team has a potential conflict of interest. We have a team set up to review those quickly and give quick answers. And respondents will need to request other owners to complete a past performance evaluation form for the project submitted for the lead contractor and the lead designer's work history. Next slide, please. ATCs will be considered. A stipend will be paid to responsive unsuccessful shortlisted proposers. I know that's an important consideration. Proposal evaluation will be a combination of price and technical factors, again, as usual in these types of design build projects. District law requires a POA, and we're in the process of developing a POA, which will be provided to shortlisted respondents with an RFP. Of course, the Davis-Bacon Act is applicable to this project, and the district is also considering requesting submitting a request to Federal Highway Administration for approval to include local labor hiring preference. This project, which would be under SEP 14, which I'm sure that most of you that are in the business are quite familiar with. Next slide, please. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and like I just wanted to leave you with a message. We're ready. And thank you for your attention and participation.
So good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. My name is Nana Bailey Thomas, and I am DDOT's Chief Transportation Equity Inclusion Officer. As Mr. Sharp indicated, there will, of course, be DBE goals set on this project. This is a design team build prime contractor. So here's some important notes. The overall DBE subcontracting goal is 22.19% of the total contract value for design and construction. And as you know, that falls under CFR 49 CFR Part 26. A DBE utilization plan or DBE performance plan shall be submitted by shortlisted respondents in the RFP. The DBE performance plan will list anticipated work items, contract dollars for DBEs demonstrating how the design team build will meet and or exceed the DBE goal. We really are pushing to exceed DBE goals. We do not want requests to reduce goals and necessarily self-perform. So please make sure you have a very active and complete DBE plan. The DBE performance plan must be approved by DDOT's DBE program, that is myself and Andrea Jackson, as part of the proposal throughout the life of the project. So if there are any changes that are going to be made, you have to ensure that those changes go through my office and they are approved ahead of time. Monthly progress meetings will be required with DDOT staff and appropriate stakeholders. Next slide, please. So please make sure that you're proposing services within your firm's certified NAICS codes. If you need additional NAICS codes added, you will have to submit an application to our office. We are asking that you not wait. We're asking that if you are seeking additional NAICS codes or if you're seeking to be DBE certified, that you start submitting that application now. It will take at least 60 days, so it is important for you to start submitting your plans and your NAICS codes now. And as many of you know, the Washington Metropolitan Unified Certification Program is a committee comprised of my office, as well as WMATA. And if selected to perform on a contract, please understand that no substitutions or terminations of DBE firms can be considered unless prior approval by my office. If you have any questions or concerns, you can, oh, I'm sorry, next slide. And also to keep in mind with the project that on-the-job training program, which helps minorities, women, and disadvantaged individuals enter the highway construction industry, will also be a necessity. So we are going to be asking that those goals be identified in your plan. The design scope will have at least 6 trainees for internship and OJT opportunities totaling 10,000 hours. We'd love it if we definitely want you to meet that goal, but we are asking, and that would be great if you could exceed. For the construction of the project, 30 trainees are required in various trade classifications, with 6 trainees assigned to the federal highway funded DDOT pipeline training program. Next slide, please. And if you have any questions, if we can go back to the previous slide, please. You can definitely contact me at Nana, that's nana.bailey@dc.gov, or you may contact Andrea Jackson, andrea.jackson@dc.gov. Thank you for your time, and we definitely look forward to working with you.
Sharp, did you want to add concluding remarks or? Okay, so if not, what we're going to do is this, as you heard from the beginning of this presentation is recorded, and we're going to be providing that at our bridge website, which is www.hstreet, all one word, hstreetproject.com. And then you can go to that website. There might be a lot of valuable information there that we can provide to you. RFQ is going to be posted and become available at DTAB, So again, the address is there, and you guys can take a picture of it instead of writing it down, and then you can go to the DTAB and get a copy of the RFQ. Then if anybody has any questions, we're not going to be doing question and answer as part of this presentation. Any question, whatever it is regarding the project, please address it to, even technical question, please send them to Office of Procurement at H Street Bridge Procurement at dc.gov. And our team together, we're going to respond to, look at the question, and we're going to respond to those questions to everybody, so everybody knows the answer to those questions. I just want to mention one more item. You want to go to the next slide? Do we have another? Okay, so I just want to mention that again, we provided opportunities to anybody interested to go and visit the site, and we were assuming that by now, I know everybody that is seriously looking at this project have gone to the job site and look at it. There is a lot of construction happening right now in the underpass, and so Amtrak is doing some projects there. Because of that, we are not gonna take a large number of people to visit the site. But if you want to go ahead and visit the site, please send a request to the addresses that we provided, and request that your team wanted to go there. We want to limit the maximum number of people to maybe 6 or 7 people at a time to go and visit. We can accommodate 6 or 7 people safely to go to that area and provide them, with a site visit. Again, if you go to the site visit, please, if you have any question related to the project, you need to provide your questions through the same website that is here. And we're not going to be answering any question in the field. So you need to go ahead and whatever question you might have, submit it in, and we provide the responses to everybody as equally, so everybody gets the same information. With that, I just on behalf of DDOT and Office of Procurement and Office of, everybody participating in this presentation, I want to thank you for your time, and I just want to wish everybody good luck. And we, at DDOT, we have been waiting for this moment for a while, personally, for a few years myself, and I'm very glad that we are in a point that we can get the process of awarding the contract and starting the project. Thank you very much, and stay safe.